What's good, everybody? It's boy Cruz on Cruise Control Running. It's been a minute since I uploaded a video. I'm in the middle of a 5-mile run, just halfway done, 2.5 miles in. So I figured while I'm in the middle of this video, or rather in the middle of this run, I might as well give you all my opinion on what it's like to run in Japan. Well, I guess particularly in Tokyo, the area of Tokyo, the greater area of Tokyo. Just give you all an idea of what it's like. Pros and cons, especially for somebody that's perhaps interested in doing a lot of running, high mileage, while you're in Japan, but you're kind of a little bit stressed out about well, it's a massive city. Am I even capable of running in a city this massive with so many people, with a lot of cars, traffic on the road, and all that kind of stuff? Especially if you're someone who, if you're moving to Japan and you're someone like me who has a little bit of autonomy as to where they can live or what kind of place, in terms of what are you looking for in terms of running area, right? I'll discuss a lot of that. So let's get started. I'm about running about 8 minutes per mile today. So just fair warning, I'm probably not going to be able to actually see my face for a majority of this run, simply because it's not very well lit. And yeah, that is some of the problems. As I guess we'll discuss the first kind of big con, is that there's a lot of places you'll go to at night where it's not going to be very well lit. And this can be a problem, especially during the winter time, because in the winter time it gets dark pretty quickly. Like 4 p.m. it's about as dark as it is now, 4 p.m. to 4:30. So if you're someone who by any means really doesn't like to run at night, that kind of might be a struggle for you. But for me, I don't really mind. I mean, to be honest, it's not like completely pitch black dark. There are some lights here, but I used to run along rivers last time I was here, and I guess the big issue with that was along the rivers, for whatever reason, they have no lights on. So that's kind of one big issue. Let's see. In terms of cars, yeah, obviously there's a lot of street traffic. Thankfully, there's a superb public transportation to kind of make up for all that. So that's obviously a big thing in Japan. So because of that, because of their emphasis on not relying so much on cars, the way that they actually structure the roads here, make it more friendly for people like myself, who are runners, walkers, bikers especially, right? Usually a city that's very friendly with bikes is going to be friendly for runners as well. But I guess you're kind of thinking to yourself, Chris, how is it that a place that's so massive, so dense, can be friendly for runners? Well, you'd be surprised. If you ever watch track and field, you pay attention to the distance runners, you'll notice that in just about every major 5K, 10K, you're guaranteed to see Japanese there, right? They produce high quality runners here, right? So that must show that there have to be places for people in Japan to run. Chiyoda City, that's one place that's right along the business district of Tokyo. They have a massive park there. You'll see thousands of runners there outside per day, especially when the weather is really good. So they have that anywhere along the river in the daytime. Absolutely beautiful. They have a lot of nice wide sidewalks along the river, along the levee part. And even here, you can see that there's a lot of sidewalks are relatively wide. They have actually a line in the middle to distinguish people, paths for people to run or walk on, people for bikes. So it's really nice when you can find sidewalks that are nice and wide. And I'll have you guys know, I'm not even right in the middle of central Tokyo. In fact, I'm not even in Tokyo. I'm not even in the prefecture of Tokyo. I'm just in the greater area of Tokyo. But I can tell you, even in the very suburban areas of Tokyo, there are a lot of very runner-friendly areas, right? I'm doing a big run around these perimeters of a military base. It's kind of nice because they have this like fence along, and there's a sidewalk along the fence, and on the other side of the road you have a wider sidewalk. That makes it very nice for runners. So you could do massive 3-4 mile loops on this, which I think is pretty good for me. Another big pro, it's running here, particularly in like the big city. Even far out in the suburban areas of Tokyo, it's flat. It's very flat here, which, I mean, that has its plus and minuses, right? Kind of the big pro to that is you won't be struggling every run because you have to deal with a lot of hills. Just like when I was back in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, there are hills everywhere, but here it's like completely flat. But then again, if you're someone who's training competitively and you need hills, that kind of might be a struggle for you. You have to go to specialized areas in order to find hills, right? Because eventually I want to do hill workouts, but it seems that it's not entirely feasible, at least where I am, to do hill workouts, which is okay. But if you're someone who really values having hills on their during the workouts, then that's something you might struggle with. So there's a fair warning for that. Another great thing about running in Japan is that there are a lot of other people who run, so the probability of you finding a running partner, or even perhaps even better, a running club, is very high, right? So, and I feel like that's I haven't joined one yet, but I do feel like as a foreigner, that's a great way to make friends, right? Being able to join a club like that, right? Especially like, you'll find them of all sorts of levels. You find them, people who just do it casually, do it as a hobby. Some people do it competitively, and they race in amateur races amongst one another. We have a lot of highly competitive amateur races here in Japan, so that is something that is quite favorable if that's something you're looking for. Perhaps the camera might pick this up, but here's kind of one massive con in Japan is the wind. Some days it gets stupid windy, and the wind is really strong to a point where if you're going on a casual base run, man, you'll be slowing down, I swear, like at least a minute per mile, somewhere between 30 seconds to a minute per mile on runs, simply because the wind is just so strong and it's so consistent. Especially in the days when it's cloudy, it's brutal, man. Another fact about weather, so I would compare weather similarly to North Carolina, except it's more humid. Because there's a lot of water that surrounds the area of Tokyo, it makes very prone for humid weather, which walking in it is tough, let alone running in it. But yeah, that can make runs, workouts, especially during the daytime, absolutely brutal. In a combination, in the peak summertime, it gets up to like 97, 98 degrees. So pretty much your only choice to run is at night. So better bring like a flashlight with you or something. Gonna do that. It's just tough to do sometimes. Winter time, it's not too bad, I'd say. There are some days it gets like 20 degrees or so. But like, generally speaking, I would say winter time is more feasible for runners, I'd say. So I just passed some children. I think they're making fun of me. I don't know. Who cares? That's a few points about running in Japan. overall, I personally believe, I mean, I haven't been to every major city in the world, but if I had to, oh shit, oh, got some other runners coming up. If I had to compare, in terms of best cities, major cities in the world to run in, Tokyo would definitely be way high in my list. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think, let's see. I'm about a little over 3.5 miles in this run now. But it's very peaceful. And I guess this is another massive point. Because Japan is so safe, right? You know, you do have the ability to run just about any time of the day, just about anywhere, without having to worry about getting captured. Obviously, there are exceptions that happen. However, I mean, for the most part, right, it's way better running around here than, let's say, even running in the downtown streets of Philadelphia or Manhattan. It's just way better. I feel way safer. I ran as late as midnight in Japan, and I felt perfectly safe. So I'd say that's a massive con. I hope the wind isn't ruining my audio. Yeah, I'll be quiet. I hope to post more videos like every day. Just like talks like this, probably like during the middle of my runs. This will be more about like my experience in Japan in society. This is only my first week here. I'll be attending graduate school here, so I got some pretty big responsibilities while I'm here. But regardless, I'm gonna try to make the most of it. Try to put out content whenever I can. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Catch y'all later. Always remember, it's never been easier to be above average. So take care.